Brooke wrote in, and Brooke said, "I would like to see a showcase about the homeless encampment that is located around the perimeter of Lone Fir Cemetery. It has grown quite large." Then she added, "My young daughter is buried in that cemetery, and I no longer feel safe visiting her gravesite due to trash and urine and feces in public, etc." So we called Brooke as soon as we read that. She told us she is a Portland native and she knows this city, her city, has a massive housing shortage. It's a crisis. And Brooke said that she feels for the people who live on our streets. But in this case, she's hoping that the city can frankly draw a line and do whatever is necessary to protect a sacred space for her grieving family. Here's Maggie Vespa.
Sometimes we feel like we made a mistake by choosing this cemetery. And we don't want to feel like that because she's here. This is where we chose it for a reason in the beginning.
Brooke Lee is a pretty private person who's invited cameras to an incredibly personal space. She wants you to see what her family sees when they come to visit their baby girl. Arwen Lisa Lee died in 2017. Born at 24 and a half weeks and weighing less than a pound, doctors diagnosed her with a lung infection.
She was in the NICU and she came down with the infection and we lost her on Mother's Day.
Lee took this photo at Arwen's funeral. The family buried her at Southeast Portland's Lone Fir Cemetery. Lee has other family here. It was an easy choice. But about a year ago, she says something changed. A homeless camp appeared outside Lone Fir's gates. It started small and steadily grew. Within the last couple of months, things have changed. Lee says she's seen people urinating and defecating inside the cemetery. And on Nextdoor, she says others have reported campers brandishing knives. Lee says she didn't want to show us Arwen's grave because she's afraid of it getting vandalized. She's hoping someone can step in, and she's not the only one. Monday, the Oregonian published a letter to the editor about Lone Fir. Another woman writing, "Is there no consideration for families attending a funeral? There is nowhere to park now. Something definitely needs to be done about this."
Families come here to grieve, and we need this cemetery to remain a safe haven.
To understand what could happen, you should know 2 governing agencies have jurisdiction here. Metro over the cemetery itself, the city of Portland over the sidewalk and street. KGW reached out to both. Metro declined to comment, only saying this camp is on city property. And Tuesday, we saw the city had posted notices promising to clear the camp last week, but that never happened. Via email, a spokesperson blamed the heat wave, writing, "Staff intend on completing this project by the end of the week or beginning of next week."
I grew up in this neighborhood, so and I love the cemetery.
Campers we talked to didn't deny any of Lee's claims. They feel bad anyone's nervous visiting Lone Fir.
We look a lot scarier. I think normally homeless people look a lot scarier than they actually are. But I mean, it's good to be safe too.
Lee told us she's not trying to villainize anyone. She's a Portland native and knows her city has a housing crisis. She also knows her husband and 2 young sons used to visit Arwen's grave together. Now they're afraid to bring the kids. So Lee and her husband come in shifts.
The place that we chose to bury her is no longer a safe haven for her.
Okay, Maggie Vespa joining us now. So our hearts obviously go out to this family and any family who's lost a loved one, especially a child. Do we know more, though, about what's next for this cemetery?
Well, just that the camp is slated, as we said, to be cleared by early next week. Now, that said, camps, as we know, are cleared all the time, only to come right back to that same spot. So, of course, Dan, that could happen in this case.
And now people who we talk to people out on the street there, they say that's partly because they have nowhere for those people to go. So to that end, the city's been promising this big permanent solution. They're calling them safe rest villages. Do we have any update on those?
Yeah, this has been a big headline. Well, no update yet. We've been asking, but we still haven't gotten the exact locations, the addresses of where these would go. But you're right. The city is promising to open 6 safe rest villages in Portland by the end of the year. And the plan is to give people a place where they can camp legally. And William, in our story tonight, who you just saw, said he would go there if that was an option. But it's not an option yet. So the cycle of clearing camps in Portland continues.
And stories like Brooks shows this crisis weighs on everyone in one form or another.
Exactly.
Maggie, thank you.
Sure.